I'm a little bit behind today. I was going to start at 12, but we had a few things we had to do. I didn't kind of promote the show today. I hope that people are doing well and enjoying today. So instead of music, somebody had mentioned, I think yesterday, and excuse the way I look right now, I'm always a little tired after a day of things that I have to do. So today, I just want to show you, we're going to work on Dior's new jackets, but I want to show you some jackets that I've made in the past. They're not perfectly sewn. These are harnesses for my fur babies, okay? I have a whole bunch. Some of them are made out of this, denim, and then there's like a little bit of, what's it called? Corduroy on the back or on the inside. This was this is Dolce's. This is made actually out of a sleeve. Okay, it's made out of a sleeve. So this is one way to save on going off and buying basically pet stuff. You can actually use your old clothing or pieces that you have left over. Just samples of Dior's jackets. I think I showed you guys this. So we're not doing music today. We're switching over to crafty stuff. Somebody was interested to see what I'm going to work on next. So this is his harness. Obviously, you need to have measurements according to the size of your pets. Velcro on the edges, on the inside and the outside. Okay. This is made out of suede, and I cut these little pieces out over here. Okay, so I used stencils. I created my own stencils. And then I'm going to have to do a bit of sewing today. And then this is another one. So this was a leather pair of diesel pants that just, I don't know, they didn't fit anybody. And I was like, well, the leather is really nice. So in the end, I made them this one and another one out of the diesel pants that I had, which was super, super useful. Okay, so that's what this is. So just remember, when I'm doing the live shows, it is a vertical, meaning there are things I cannot edit necessarily into it. And then I could always put music in the background, but there's always a chance that YouTube would pick up on the songs like Facebook does. You have to be very careful as to the music that you play now in the background. Okay, so we're going to just do a not fabric, but a vest making day for, I need to make Dior a new one anyway. So I'll show you what I'm going to use. This is one of Dolce's. So we're working on a harness today. Okay, so pet harnesses. And I find if you have different types of pets, the most comfortable is to have the neck and then to have the stomach area, okay? And then you have like these little clasps. I'll show you the clasps. Okay, so it all depends on the circumstance and situation. I'm gonna put these back over here. I've made them a whole bunch. That means I don't necessarily need to shop for those. Okay, and this is the pattern, right? This is the pattern that I use to make his harnesses. And we got, basically what I have to do now is I'm going to have to sew these leather pieces. I have a whole bunch of leather pieces. This is a whole bunch of leather pieces. Very, very soft. I don't know, but okay, so I'm going to try my best to sew a whole bunch together now. And then we're going to work on, it's going to be extremely soft. And I think, so what I would have to do is so instead of wasting this, you would go back in and re-sew these edges. Okay, so you're going to I'm going to re-sew the edges. You guys are going to just watch me do this today. Okay, re-sew the edges. It's a lot of suede. I think I might have enough for one side. Okay, so I'm going to just put these together so I can have something to start with, and then I can show you how I'm going to cut it out next. Put this here maybe, there, like that. Gosh, there's a lot of leather. It's going to be really soft. Okay, so today I'm just, I'm using a pattern, and I'm making a pet harness. I make all my pet harnesses for my pets because they are very picky and they're not going to buy, they don't like wearing the ones that you find in, but they wear these. Okay, so they wear these ones that I make, which is kind of great, but not great at the same time because now I have to continuously make them goodies, which is okay. Okay, so I'm using leather here. And the other time so my channel is, even though it's music, I know not everybody's into the music aspect of things, but I also do art. So what I'm doing here is I'm molding the two together. I'm doing the art, like crafty things, and then, so like this I just did. I finished working on making the panels, okay? The soundproofing I just redid. And then this is a painting that here, I'll show you the painting. The painting that you see over here. So that's the painting. So I worked on that painting as well. You see there's like a couple of things here. Okay, I know I didn't prepare this. I should have been a little bit more organized today. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these. My sewing machine is on that side, so I will do that next. So I'm just getting the pieces together that I'm going to use to sew it. Now, yeah, there's plenty. There's more than enough to make one. So I'm going to make one. Okay. But, you know, doing these lives, it kind of helps me figure out what I need to do, which is important. So there are these pieces. And then there's little shiny pieces over here. And I have, just trying to decide. And then I should probably just sew those pieces together. That's a little bit thicker in leather. You see, I'd made these before. Maybe I just use this for something. So I made this one. Oops, dropping everything here. I made this one, okay, with this leather. And where's that little piece that I was showing you guys? And I made like the flowers out of the leather, so I made that. Okay, putting this here. Okay. And then you have these little shiny pieces. Now I had plans for this, but I think if the plans have changed for that vision, I'm going to use that too. We are going to reuse these beautiful pieces of gold leather. These little gold leather pieces. Yeah, I collected these. I think I was going to make a belt out of this at one point, like a Wonder Woman belt, but I never got down to it. So I might use this as, you can see I had it all ready to go for the Wonder Woman belt. But it never came to wishing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to somehow use this gold into this vision today. Let's see what we can come up with. Okay, so I like using leather because when you're making stuff for your pets, I don't know, it just seems like it holds together better. Oh, and there's more. Okay, so there's more of this leather here. So yeah, I'm going to just sew these pieces together now. Okay. So we're going to keep that there. We're going to keep that there. Patterns here. Okay, so we're going to use this pattern to cut out that. He's right up. Okay, so this is what we're going to do now. So now I need to go to my sewing machine. Okay, hold on a second. Going over to the sew. You don't have to watch me sew this, but you can, right? Okay. Are you in the box? Okay, so once I finish sewing, once I finish sewing these pieces together, okay, then we have the Velcro and we have these little loops. Okay, so we're gonna, I think I'd mentioned I made the harnesses before, so I'm gonna just do this today. I don't want to waste it. It's been on my mind for a while. Okay. I'm sure nobody's really, it's okay, nobody's here at the moment. So we're going to put these pieces together. So we have a whole bunch over here. Let's start with one section at a time. I'm not too focused on the thread that I'm going to use, but this is very soft leather. So hopefully this doesn't. We're going to do one section at a time. This might take a while. Just bear with me here, folks. I'm just going to sew these sections together as best as I can. Let me just see. One. Let me see what the bigger pieces are. So let's do this. See, I'm not the type of person to waste. I like to savor material. I had made some other stuff out of this before, but this is beautiful. You can actually get fantastic leather on Etsy. I think I got this on Etsy. So this is what you call pigskin. It's very, very soft. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. Don't ignore the fact that it's a bit messy. We're going to shift you guys over here. Whoops. So you can see I do it on. So I'm going to be sewing over here. Let's move this out of the way. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way so you guys can see me sewing. Alternate, yeah. So our space is very, very small. As you can see, so you can see one side, and I've never really shown people this before, but one side is a section where I use for the music, and then the other section is for like the craft stuff, even though it's like the bedroom. So the point is, I think the point is not everybody needs to have a large space. You just need to calculate what you're going to do within the space that you have. And that's how I sort of do it now, right? I lived in big houses when I was younger, but, you know, as I got older, yeah, life changes. Life changes. Living with parents versus not living with parents, right? It's a different lifestyle completely. So this is called starting over again. I moved from South Africa, grew up in 5 different countries, if you don't know my history. And through that, I found that each country had their particular skill of using for the arts. And craft was a good one to start with in South Africa. So I had my own little boutique there and created my own goodies. Oh, and I have all these cables from the speaker over here. So you get a chance to see how I'm like working here. Today I'm not hammering things, I'm sewing stuff. Let's put a light on. There, hopefully that helps. You can see my teddy bear and stuff. And I think so I'm not a perfect person to sew, but, oh, you see, I don't know why this has been giving me problems for the past couple of days, but it has been. It has been. It's loose. I should probably, tighten that. Let's see if I have that little tool. Yep, I got the tool, so we need to tighten this. And, you know, the same thing applies for machines. You have to always keep them tuned. Like oh, and that's done. Okay, perfect. So I can rethread that. You guys can see what I'm doing here. And yeah, I can help people with the basics of sewing. I cannot say that I'm the best seamstress in any way whatsoever. But to get the general idea, I can definitely give some feedback. Okay, so this is, I don't know if you guys can see this. So I have to go back and rethread this. Let's see if I did that right. Nope, backwards. Okay, so that's enough for now. And now we have to rethread this. Okay, goes to the top, 1, 2, around, whoops, around, through, under, and there's another little clip over there. You always need to make sure you put that in there, because if you don't, it folds apart. And there's a reason why I can't do my nails, because my hands are always busy with something. So it gets kind of tricky. There we go. I think I didn't. People. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's watching today. I didn't pre-plan, folks. I'm sorry. So what I will do is, this will just be for, I switched over from, I'm not doing the music today. We're busy working on a new harness for Dior. My fur baby, one of my fur babies. Because it's been on my mind for a while, and it's like spring cleaning, right? The whole purpose of kind of making things is to, like I said, I don't want to waste it, but it's getting in the way of stuff. So I'm basically using this chance to spring clean and create things with whatever materials I have that need to be used. Hi, welcome in. So I'm basically just sewing. Even though I'm talking about music, I also sew, and I also make things, like I make soundproofing and stuff. So I have multiple skills. And sometimes I think it's important that people use their skills, diverse their skills. So I'm busy sewing this because I don't want to waste it. So the part that looks like it's unthreaded, I mean, it looks like it's sewn. So I'm going to do a whole batch of these, like a whole bunch of these like this. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this. And we're just going to sew these together for now, because if I don't, then it's going to be wasted. So right now is my spring cleaning season, and when I spring clean, I try to think through what can be done with materials that are not being used. So we're now using the materials that are just sitting around, collecting dust. So yeah, so I'm just sewing these sections. This is very thin, I think it's pigskin. So it's suede. And it's very good to sew through. It's very, very good. So I'm just back. And I don't have a large space. I mean, I don't have a whole studio. So I have to utilize, like a Japanese would, utilize the space that you got and work with the situation, which is fine. No problems there, see? Now you've made a larger piece, okay? And in fact, this, you could actually start, you can make skirts and stuff out of this if you just put them together. This is just being resourceful because I don't want to waste this beautiful skin over here. So we're just recycling it at the moment. Let me just see how I can put this together. So let's see. Put this here. Let's put this here. Put this here. Let's see. Thread this. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to thread, well, not thread, we're going to sew this section. You see? Yeah, that. Okay. So we're going to sew this section over here. So I'm literally I'm going to be making another one of these for him. This is Dior's harness. So I'm making another one for him. It's probably not going to be as thick. It's going to be thinner because I don't know if I can layer it, but we're going to test it out. Okay. And like I said, it's always good to have multiple skills. Make sure it gets... Never waste quality materials if you have them, but this is the right time. If you have things that you're that are lying around, use it to, use it to your advantage. Call it spring cleaning. Don't waste. This is literally my spring cleaning. It's spring in the United States right now, and I'm all about making sure that I'm not wasting things that are just lying around, because I have a tendency of just collecting stuff and sometimes just not using it. So making pet harnesses for me becomes like resourceful because I can A, make my fur babies new things, and B, I'm recycling things that I probably haven't pulled out in a while. And this is a good example of something I should have done a while ago, but only thought through. Okay, so you have to make sure that okay. Let's fix that up a little bit. Okay. So in theory, there are many things you can do with this skin that you're kind of recycling. I'll show you another example of a thing that I did, but I want to try to use this today. Okay. I know my place is not perfect. So this would generally be the side that I'd use. Okay, so I'd have to trim this part down. But now I'm extending the size of this to something that's workable, because I can't work with these small pieces. It's not going to work. So this is the way to become resourceful in what you have in spring cleaning, because it is spring cleaning in this month, March. This is like a good time to spring clean. And also find ways to recycle things that you probably just haven't considered recycling. I'm all about this because I studied, when you study art, sometimes you're not buying like paint. Sometimes you're using what you have. You find objects and you recycle them in some way. Okay. want to make sure that you're threaded the machine correctly, because anything can go wrong, right? This is a heavy-duty Singer, so it goes through leather, which is great. Denim works too. You can see. So you can see, okay, so say for instance, I've cut it. This is it's very soft. It's very, very soft. Okay, and you could actually, in theory, you could probably make like shirts and stuff out of it too. So I'm literally all about making sure that I'm not wasting anything. Nothing is wasted here. And if I have things to reframe or repaint, I repaint them, because I also paint. So that's also a good skill to have, learning to paint. I was teaching art as well besides music. So I kind of do both, if that makes sense. I kind of do. And I think that's why I feel like I'm a little out of place sometimes, because if you're teaching at a school, people require you to teach one type of thing. They you know, usually they don't say, oh, well, do you have multiple skills in different departments? Usually not the case. You'd have to choose one. And in my situation, I haven't done that. I've chosen to do multiple things. And I think it benefits more, because it's going to help in the long run. Say you want to start a business. This is great because it's so soft. It's so soft. This is the softest leather you can possibly find, but it's so beautiful. I mean, if I were to, I don't want to waste this. So we're literally reusing it, hey? Okay, so this is, see, so now I can, for instance, I could make the pattern. It's going to be very soft, meaning, I don't know if I can double it up. Let's first finish sewing the parts and see what happens there. Okay, so this is called recycling, and I'm sure there are going to be little tiny pieces that are going to be left over, but that's okay. You can go back and reuse those later on. Just don't waste good quality fibers and materials and fabrics and all that stuff. That's just my personal opinion. Just me, but I feel like that is the thing now. Recycling. Recycling, reusing, all that. How's this? Is this going to work? Let's try. This? No, this looks more, this definitely looks more like it's, that feels like it fits better there. Let's see. Fits better there. Let's bring this down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to sew this section. Okay. Ooh, phones are ringing, things are buzzing. Don't know what the buzz is. I'll take a look at basic skill like sewing on a sewing machine becomes useful. Now, I studied a year in fashion. I worked for designers, so part of my life has always been around sewing machines, oddly enough. Isn't that interesting? Okay, this needs to be resewn. You can see the section's slightly not so fantabulous, so we're going to sew that over here. Get this in here so we don't have that little hole. And if you're not if you're not kind of focused on how this is, how you're kind of driving your sewing machine, I suppose, you could get hurt. So you want to be careful, so you can see. So this is like the whole thing. So eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to use the pattern. I'm going to use this pattern and I'm going to cut. These are all the ones that I made. Cut the harness out of it. Okay, and then we have the Velcro. Where's the Velcro? The Velcro is somewhere. Here's the Velcro. These are little clips. Velcro. And these are the clasps that you put underneath. So you have these clasps over here, which is this. So that's that. And I like how these are made versus, so it's not tugging at the neck. You want to make sure it's on the bottom of their harness because it's better for them to have control. An animal should have control over their back instead of straining their neck. I think a lot of the ones that have been made in the past were not considering the animal's well-being. So this design actually helps them secure and they don't feel uncomfortable and it's not pulling their neck, which can in theory, get injured. So that's just there's a little part over there. I'll work on that. So let me just see. Little section over here. Let me sew this little part. Let me just sew this little tiny section over here because it's going to bother me. And I know there are people that are interested in different skills. So I'm not just focusing on music, but I do think fashion goes hand in hand with music. So if you know how to sew, you can make your own outfits for stage and performances. It all falls into place. When time comes, things happen accordingly. Right, that's just how life is. Okay, and we're going to trim these little sections off over here. My cat's in a box over here. He's sleeping over there. Okay, so, and we have a few more pieces to go. We have a large piece over here. Oh, these are nice. Okay, these are very, very nice. Let's see. Okay, let's put that here, I think. Okay, that part over there we'll see what happens. We'll see what we can do with that. But let's try to sort of get this covered over here. Let me just see. Give it a little bit of leeway. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like I will sew it from this side. Okay, let's sew it from this side. Make sure that it's kind of fitting. Even though they're not fitted sections, you can try to make it fit. So instead of wasting, like I say, instead of wasting fabric, reuse them. Like for instance, if you have a whole bunch of denim jackets and the denim jackets don't fit, or if you have denim pants that are just lying around, use that to recycle into A, make something for yourself, or B, if you have a pet, you can recycle and make that into a harness. I can always create a pattern that and I have things on Poshmark. So say for instance you want a pattern, maybe I put a pattern down and if people are interested I could probably give it out. I don't know. There's ways to do that. And then the measurements for each animal will vary in size. Okay, so, and you can make these for guinea pigs. You can make it for bunny rabbits. I made 2 for my bunny, 3. So she wears the harnesses because we live in an apartment. You can see it's an apartment. And we don't have a huge space to just open the door and have her go out into a garden. So we've trained our cat and our rabbit to go on a harness. As long as the harness is comfortable, they will listen. That's the important part. You want to make sure that you don't have any complications. So what you have to do is get a small scissors. I have a ton of small scissors, and they're in another container, I guess. So I would, oh yeah, I got one. Here we go. So this somehow, there, make sure that that doesn't get stuck, because once a thread is stuck in the sewing machine, you have to go in and somehow figure out what happened. That means you have to open it up and all that. So just keep an eye on the foot. This is the foot, and then the thread, and then the needle over there. That should have been, that's okay. Okay, and double it up on the top, on the ends, because if you don't, there could be problems. Okay, and I need to take off the threading here eventually. You could make this into a top as well. I mean, there are things you can do. I mean, it depends on what it is you're wanting to do. All I'm saying is just consider recycling, because I think recycling is part and parcel of what spring is about, right? Don't waste anything or throw it out until you can decide if there's a purpose for it. If there's a purpose for it, then definitely go ahead and utilize it for the purpose that you have in mind. You can, you know, you can even make a, yeah, pillowcase out of something like this. If, like a small, tiny, rounded pillowcase. See, and I'm just putting the corners together. I'm putting, so whatever the space is missing, I'm just kind of sewing it up. So that could be, is that the right side? This is, hold on. Let's rethink this. We gotta think smart. Yeah, I could have done it that way. Okay. That's okay. We're gonna go back to this. Okay. This is the side I want in the front. Hold on. Brainstorm this. Whoops. Brainstorm. I know I want it that side. So I have to sew it. Oh yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same thing. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah. Edging, sorry. Can't focus on thinking about what's going on here. Just, let's see. It's like a puzzle piece. You want to kind of get the edges that are closely related together. That one I will figure out what to do with this little edge over there. Maybe trim it now. Maybe trim it. This is just going to create drama, so we're going to just snip this off and use that for another section. Okay, so having a sewing machine becomes useful. I mean, just because you do music or art or whatever doesn't mean to say a good skill to have isn't sewing. Guys and girls can do it. It's not, you know, it's nothing. And since it's Fashion Week, this is a great time to talk about sewing, right? Sewing is the time. This is the time to talk about sewing and fashion and making stuff. There's that. I don't really like that too much. I'd rather use just a scissors. Okay, so that looks sturdy and stable. Okay. What I'm going to do right now is unthread these. I'm going to take these thread pieces out. Sorry if it's going to be a while. But it's always a good thing. I'm going to be on for a while, so Let's see how much I can get done today. And then I have these little golden pieces that I might make stencils out of, which are leather. So I'll show people if anybody's interested in stenciling with leather. I can do that too. And all these skills can go into building up a studio space, whether it's art, whether it's a fashion, boutique, couture, whatever it is you're trying to do. This is, you know, my initial plan was to have a fashion house with a music production house because I just think it's the most logical. So that's why I'm kind of doing it this way, because I feel in our area, it's always separated. You don't have a music, the university that I went to in DC actually has a music and a fashion. I think they have a fashion department now. But it's not in a business per se, at least on our side. So everybody always talks about, oh, well, what are the things that are missing within a company? Those are the things you need to look into if you're going to create something that is unique and different. And that might work. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But having somebody who understands both sides becomes useful. You know, I've always been doing both my whole life. This is not yeah, it's just how it is for me, I guess. My sister's all music, my mom's all music, and I'm the one that was like, I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm going to try it a different way. So I'm literally trying it a different way in contrast to how my family has done music. So I'm going to trim that off. We don't need this little bit over here. So we're going to snip this off. I think it should be okay. Snip, 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 snip. Okay. As long as you don't destroy what you already have. Yeah, that's slightly snipped. I'll have to snip it a little bit more later on. But now you see you have a beautiful large piece that can be used. That can be used for something. You can even make an artwork out of this. You can use like marker if you want to. But this is my spring cleaning. So I always find projects to do with things that have just been lying around for too long. And I'm like, no. They're either going to get chucked out or they got to be used for something. And I was like, this leather is still usable. So let's make my boy another harness. Okay, there's a lot here. A lot more than that's why I was like, this got to be used. This got to be, look at how much leather we have. Off that one thing, look at how much, that's like amazing. That's like a whole skin right there. That's fantastic. So now I have to see what we can do. Hold on. That's a whole skin of leather there. Okay, and this is a beautiful big chunky piece. Not to waste this. Put these over here. Okay. This is a craft day, I guess. Call it a craft day. Nothing wrong with having a craft day sometimes. It's a little bit rainy. We were planning on going to the flower, cherry blossom stuff, but it looks like it's just rainy. Just a very rainy day. This side. Just a rainy day. Okay. Try my best to make sure that everything is on the right side when I start sewing or making the pattern next. Okay. So now, this is great to sew. I'm telling you, this is like the best leather. It's so soft. It's so soft. It's like butter. Very, very soft. Okay. And on occasion I make stuff and I put it up for on Poshmark, and then I do sell the pieces that I make. But I think there are more people on Poshmark that would buy more brand names. So it gets a little tricky. it gets interesting. But I still, you know, I still put it up nevertheless. Yeah. Okay. Something's a little tight over here. Let's trim that before it creates a problem. Okay. And I don't have red thread, so I'm just using the thread that's in there already. Not a big deal. But, yeah. I have a thing for, it's hard to find good leather, and I mean, it depends. You can use fox leather, not fox leather, like fake leather. It's called pleather. When I was growing up, they called it pleather, but now it's called fox leather, which I guess is the same thing, but I get, like, when they first started calling it fox leather, I was like, no, really? It's real fox? Didn't know, but it's not real fox. But look at how much we got here. That's like a lot of leather. That's fantastic. Okay, that's fantastic. So now I'm not wasting. I mean, this could be made into a top if I really wanted it to be. But my plan was to, you could make a whole top out of this, see? Okay. Get these pieces sorted. Okay, now we have some more sections. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Wait, there's this over here. So this is my spring cleaning day. Call this spring cleaning. But I don't think I've ever done anything on sewing. So this might be the first, you know, video / live where I'm actually showing the other side. I mean, I've shown people what I've made, but I haven't shown people how I make it. So this would definitely be the first time I'm doing this on YouTube, which is kind of cool. Can't say that it's been something I've really focused on. It was mainly music. But yeah, this is, look at this. Look at how much leather came out of that. I mean, just imagine if I wasted. That would have been such a waste. Total waste if I had just chucked it and said, well, I'm not going to use this. So we're going to use these pieces as well. I don't want to waste those either. Okay. I think I have another piece somewhere. What's this? There's a piece. Let me just see. Yeah? Okay, so that needs to be trimmed off over there. We'll do that later. So we're going to add this piece. We're going to add this piece here. Okay. Let's see which side. Okay, we're going to add this piece here. This piece over here, like that. Let's see. Yeah, like that. So I'm using this as the Fashion Week. So we're sewing for Fashion Week. That's, let's do it at that kind of. Fashion Week is for sewing. Well, I mean, your design should already be out and sent over to the fashion shows, but yeah, this is for people. Oops, you see, that's why you have to be careful. You have to make sure that everything is kind of working. Make sure the edges are done properly. But in tribute to Fashion Week, we are just doing a sewing piece today. So that is, I guess, where my mind is right now, right? Okay, go back to the top over there. Let's just see. I'd be sewing over a piece that I don't necessarily need. So we got to be careful with that. Okay, we're going to go around that part. Okay, so we're going to go around that. I think people always say that their thread comes out. It's because there's a little clip here at the bottom on the end. People tend to forget to put, and look, it came undone here. So you have to make sure you put that back in, because that is what causes everything to unravel. See, that was probably why it came undone. Okay. Okay. Throw those out later. That's a huge piece of leather. That would have been a total waste if I had wasted that. That's just, that would be so wasteful. So look at this, it's huge. You could make a whole top out of this. How cool is this? Just imagine making a top out of this. This would be kind of awesome. So I was gonna make a harness out of this for my fur baby. I don't know, I'm sort of liking it as like a fashion item, a fashion piece. You know, just put it, even a necklace. I mean, just think of the things you can do with a recycled piece of leather. This is all like leftover snippets. So I just sewed them together. Okay, so you can use this for anything at your desire. And this is partly because I am spring cleaning right now, and I found this leather in my closet, and I was like, I'm not going to waste this. What can I do with the leather? So I'm resewing the leather, okay, so these are the ones that I made before for my fur baby. This is one that I made, probably the same leather. And I made, and you can see I made these, which are stencils, leather stencils from the leather. Okay, you can see that that's a flower. I think I have 2 left. And then I have this. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. This was going to be for a Wonder Woman belt, but I never got down to doing it. And I want to use this for... So today we're just going to talk about what kind of designs. Look at all this. Look at all this leather. That would have been a total waste. So maybe I make a stencil. I can show you guys how to make a stencil as well in leather and then sew it as an example. So this is like a fashion week. Instead of the music today, we're doing the fashion, and I think it's nice to kind of branch out, because I know some people are interested in the music and then some people are interested in the fashion, which is why I sort of kind of dabble with both, because I've noticed I've sold stuff in boutiques before, things that I've made and people love them. And then I've done music and everybody's like, well, we want to learn piano. So that's how I got into kind of like dabbling with both. I also paint, but the painting comes in handy for like fashion design drawings and stuff. So yeah, I want to continue with this. There are these 2 little pieces left. There might be one more piece. Let me see. One more piece left over here. So we're going to put all the red together. We're going to finish the last couple, okay? Okay. Okay, let's keep going. And then I'm going to we're going to do a basic stencil. I don't know what the stencil will be, but we will come up with it, and I will draw it out and I will make it, and then we can, just a starting point. Maybe this is a continuation project. I don't know. But it's always nice to see progress, right? You like to see the outcome of a project. This is another piece that can be sewn over here. Yeah, over there. Okay, let's get to it. There's that part. So now none of it's been wasted. Now we're going to use this for something. And I haven't chucked it. Like I was like, what am I going to do with this leather? I have no idea. I had to give it some time. It's like a wine, you know, you have to like let the wine sit for a few years to figure out what you're going to do with it. This leather's been around for a while and it just had nowhere to go. So I was like, what am I going to do with this? It's like spring cleaning needs to be resolved. Let's figure out not to waste and reuse these parts. Okay, so what did I do here? Oh God. Woo! Missed. Okay, that's okay. There's like, piece of leather over here. You can see that I sewed it, and there's some sections that are sewed that are one side, and then there are other sections that are sewed that the other side. So now I have to, it's okay, I'll work with it. I should have thought through where I was going to sew it, but it's okay. We're going to work through this process here. But now you have a nice, huge piece of leather. Not a wasted piece, just a nice, beautiful piece of leather. I mean, you could make a skirt out of this, right? I mean, I don't know. It'd be hard. I don't know. I have to think about this now. What can you do? Do you make a top out of this? I don't know, hey? It would be beautiful to make a top out of. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Do you think I should make this into a necklace, a halter top, or a pet harness? I don't know. There's like, I mean, it is Fashion Week, so I knitted here. I'll show you what I've also done. I'll pull it out now. I also knit. That was my expertise in when I did like shows. I always made knitted pieces. So I have this knitted like dress. This is inside out, sorry. And this took a whole bunch of months to do. This is all knitted, hand knitted. It's like a dress top. Okay, with my label over here, it's just a sample. So it's a one sleeve thing, right? And then you have the slits on the sides. So I don't know. I'm debating. I don't know if I should make this into an outfit or if I should continue making it into a pet harness. I think I should still make it into a pet harness. He'll look so cute in it. He needs one. Okay. I'm going to spoil my fur baby. So we're going to make him a harness. We're going to just, stick with the program here. I do that sometimes. I debate. I'm like, sometimes I want to use it for something else once it's done. I was like, no. This seems to be a good idea. So let's stick with the program. Let me sew. Oh, this could be sewn over here. That's cool. Okay, so let's sew this section here. Add that part. That works. So as you can see, I do multiple skills. Multiple skills. This is indeed the first time I'm ever showing people how I sew within my space. So you guys are getting a introduction into what we do with a small space. But it works. It works. For me, it works. It's not like I have a whole company. I mean, I registered a company, but it's not like set up as a full-on. I could eventually. Okay, so that was worth it. Okay, so let's go back into this carefully. And I have dressed people before for photography, and I've taken their photographs on occasion. It's just, I've enjoyed doing that. That was always fun. Haven't done it recently. I think during the time of COVID, it's been a little hard. And everybody has their cameras now, so you don't really need to take photographs for anybody. They just do it on their own, right? We do our own selfies and stuff now. It's a bit different. Once the iPhones came out, photographers sort of lost their jobs because everybody's doing their own thing. So social media has taken over. It has indeed. Okay, now let's see the other pieces that can be put back together. Can this be sewn over here on the edge? Yes, it can. Make that bigger piece. No, but then it has a crease, so we don't want that. We want, no, that's fine. Let's find another section that needs a part, needs an additional piece here. Here, maybe? Yeah, that could work. So let's do this. I've ever, this is the first time I'm showing anybody what I do behind the scene with the sewing. This is, I don't know if people are interested in this stuff. I'm always so scared to show people the sewing side of the work that I do because it's like, oh, so stressful. Like, just show us the final product. And I'm like, okay, it's going to take me a few months, but hold your horses. I will get the final product done. It's just a different mindset. I think a lot of people are not aware of the work that goes into making stuff, you know. I mean, music is easy. I think in some sense, producing music is a lot easier than making an outfit. It's just, I mean, it's not yes and no. So there are benefits of learning the skill in music. Some people want to learn it, other people don't. And then, let me just see what's going on here. Let's see if this is logical. Do it this side? I don't know. Here, let's sew it there. There. We'll find out what that looks like. I think it's going to be a little weird, but let's see. But now all of the leather has been used except that little tiny piece over there. Let's put that together. Okay, I don't know. Did a little, okay. Let's sew that little section over here, I guess. Where is it? Here. Okay, I'm gonna just sew this little edgy thing over here. We're gonna do it like this. It's gonna be, yeah, okay, let's get that over there. Sort of perfect, except this is gonna look, make sure that you have everything intact. Okay, that should work. Cool. So you guys are getting a chance to see something I never ever show people. I never show people that I sew. I mean, they see it, they see the final product, but I never say, this is how I've done it. Look at how long it takes me to do. Oh boy. And mind you, I'm not the best sewer, but I think as a person that likes to design, I call myself a designer. I'd rather be the person sort of designing the items rather than sewing it, but you have to make a sample somewhere. Now, I don't have a manufacturing company to produce all the samples I've done, but I have samples. I've definitely made the samples. They're not perfect. The quality of the sewing obviously is not like 100% selling kind of, you know. It can be unless people are, I'll show you another piece that was sewn. I think I might have shown it the other day. Okay. So just sewing like a whole leather fantastico piece that I've had to, what's this over here? Let me just go back and revise this. Something is up. What's up with this little section? Sew that part. Just not sew that part. That is the question, I think. I think sew it, because if I don't sew it, it's going to be like weird. So if I sew it, then it's going to be easier to cut out the design next, right? So we're going to go back and do this section over here. Okay. Just so it doesn't fall apart. It's not going to be perfect. You can see some of the edging is now on the other side. But, I mean, baby blue and red's not so bad, is it? Not so bad. It's still usable. So I taught arts, or I still teach arts, and I do the music thing. And then the fashion has always just been like the hobby, right? That's, it's like craft. I don't know who wants to see craft. Okay, that's kind of cool. So soft, so soft. Okay. Now we're going to decide how we're going to do this. So I'm going to switch back to, okay, so now that we've sewn this, I'm going to switch back to this over here. Okay, we're going to go back here to the other side. Okay, so I just finished sewing a piece that I just didn't want to waste. So I just finished sewing this from small pieces. You can go back to the beginning of the video, from smaller pieces, these ones I'm not going to use, to a larger piece that can now be used for something, because now I'm spring cleaning and I'm going through the pieces of material that I have that I just don't want to waste. Yes, I teach music, but I also make clothing and I also design stuff. So one side of the room is like sewing machine and fashion stuff and materials, and then the other side is the music. Now I have my music equipment covered because now we're going to come up with an idea. This is my pet harness. I think I spoke about the pet harness thing before in a video. This looks like it's going to be enough. Let me just double check. Enough for two sides, one side, I don't know. We have to see. Let's see. Can I make enough? Let me just see. See if I center it. Will I have enough to make? It's going to be a very thin. I can tell it's going to be very thin. Maybe it's good for summer. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, this should work. So I can now, and then whatever I have left over, I can make for my other fur baby, which is the bunny rabbit. So I make Dior's harnesses, and I now make Dolce's harnesses. So we're utilizing both. I think it's only going to be big enough for a thin one for Dior. It's probably not, it's probably going to be more fashion orientated than actually, like, I don't know if I can hold him consistently on this. Let's see. So these are the other pieces. Oops. So we're looking at this now as, let me just see. If I were to trim, if I were to put this like this, it wouldn't double up as 2. It would double up as 1. I don't know, guys. Do I make this into a harness, or do I make this into like a top, like a fashion top? I'm debating. I don't know. I'm liking how the leather looks now. So I don't know. I mean, this could be a whole fashion top, right? Just think. Fashion top, yay or nay? Fashion top or pet harness? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe we change. This is what happens. I do something, I'm like, oh, I like this. It looks better when it's whole versus not whole. Maybe put it on a mannequin. Let's test it out. Let's put it on a mannequin. Let's put it, it's fashion week, so let's put it on a mannequin and see. Give me a second. Oops, I'm going to unplug this for 2 seconds. I'm going to the other side. I'm going to get my mannequin. Let's see. I'm changing my mind here. Okay. So we have the mannequin. I'm going to lift this up a little bit. So this could be a whole fashion room right here, just not just music. Okay. So we're back onto this. I don't know, guys. I was debating on this being a harness for Dior, but I'm sort of liking the idea, oops, of a necklace or a top or something. I don't know. This is kind of nice. What do you think? Maybe just get a clasp or a ribbon and tie it together. I don't know, hey? I'm sort of liking this, just as is. Just as is. I mean, I think it's kind of slick. So, okay, so say for instance, we're going to do it like this. We make a clasp, okay? Now I'm switching the subject. Now we're going to just make a fashion piece because it took me a while to sew this together. And it's a bit thin, honestly, so we've doubled up. So it's this whole piece. It's a long piece. It could be worn like this. We could create a larger piece. Let's see. It could be, oh, this is actually quite nice too. So, I don't know, guys. I'm still deciding. I don't know. Long or short? I think it's good like this. Break it up into half. I think that looks nice. So you guys are seeing me do more than just music now. We're now going into the whole direction of textiles, which I never ever do in front of people because I'm always too scared what people will think about me. Like, why is she doing music and fashion? Like, why can't she stick to one? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just my route. It's just my process, I guess. It's just something I've just been doing this whole time. I do like this. So I'm actually going to make this into, we're going to keep it simple. And I'm going to make, maybe, yeah, let's do a top instead of wasting it. We're going to switch over. We're going to do a top. It happens like this with the music. One moment it's like one thing, and the next moment it's like, oh, we can come up with another idea. So I have these gold pieces now. So maybe I make, maybe I come up with some, whatchamacallit, some stencils. I think this is too nice to kind of cut and then re-sew. So I'm going to use this as a stencil kind of element. Let's see. This is also leather. So we're going to keep it as a top. We're going to switch it out. We're going to do tops now. This is going to be a top. Top necklace, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I don't know who's here. Let me just see. I know it's a bit of a strange day. I didn't say that I was going to be on, but I did say that I was going to. This is always, it's always good to have. So let me see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. So we got these little pieces. These little pieces. These little pieces. Okay, so this is called spring cleaning. I'm literally just spring cleaning. So I did the soundproofing, and now I'm sort of making something from something I was about to just throw away. So we're not throwing away good leather. I think the leather is worth keeping. So we're going to try stencils now. Okay. We have decided not to do this. We are going to stick with our guns here on a fashion item. It's just changed again. So I'm going to sketch out some stenciling ideas. I do have some more of this to cut out. Actually, you probably need cardboard for that. But we'll come up with some sketch designs. Okay, so in order to put this together, let's find some clips. Let's see. How am I going to hold it on my mannequin? Let's see. On the mannequin. Maybe tie it for now. Put it on a clip. Put a clip here. This is so nice, actually. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Could be like a... It holds. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that. We're going to brainstorm an idea here. Okay, so... Yeah, I'm busy making something versus music today, even though I state that I do music. I actually do, like, art and fashion, too. So we're going into the question of Fashion Week, and I was like, well, this is the time to pull out the sewing. So I'm sewing today. Today is a sewing day. And I was going to make this into a cat harness, but now I'm making it into like a top necklace, which is kind of cool. So it can be used. It might be nice with a photo shoot. I don't know, but it's something to think about. Okay, so we have these. We have 2 of these flowers. So I might just add texture. I don't know. Think about that. Okay, and now these. So I'm going to draw. So this is also leather. It's just metallic leather. And I think I'm going to use these smaller pieces to make a stencil. I don't know what I'm going to stencil, but we're going to stencil it. So we're going to think about how we're going to do this now. And it's part of my spring cleaning. So instead of wasting good leather, which is what this is, we are now using the leather for a wiser option. I'm going to bring this back a little bit. And just the other day, I was making my sound. So these white panels in the back, I was I put material back onto this. So I repaneled it. Whatchamacallit? Yeah. It's redecorating, I suppose, right? Okay, upholstery, reupholstered. Okay. I really don't think anybody's here. Okay, so now we're going to use, let's draw, what are we going to draw? Something easy to cut out? What will be nice? Let's, this. Let me think. What are we going to do? So I'm just sewing today. I just sewed this. I just sewed that. So I'm re-sewing. Instead of doing a whole music thing, we're doing fashion today. Now I'm thinking of a stencil. Maybe circles. Circles would be nice. I'm going to make a bunch of circles. Let's see what happens. Okay. And I can sew those circles onto this and then not waste material. This one needs to be bigger. Okay. 2 seconds. I'm going to walk through here. So I'm going to... So this is the first time I'm showing people how I sort of manifest a vision for fashion. Or I've never shown people this process, ever. Like, it's just been... Usually I hide it in the room so people don't see me doing it because I just don't know if this is something people like. But I thought, well, maybe since I'm now doing the YouTube thing, why not just pull it out? So I'm just making circles right now. Okay. I'll get back into music later, but this is a day for craft, I think. Just for now, and move back in later. Fashion Week just reminded me of production and sewing and stuff. Okay. And then you can say, oh yeah, she makes her own stuff too. Sorry, I don't have makeup on today. I don't usually wear a lot of makeup, just a bit of eyeliner. I'm allergic. I have allergies to makeup. I don't wear foundation. So yeah. So I think little, oops. So maybe just sew these little tiny pieces. Look at how cute. This just adds some, see, just already, just adds a little bit of something. What is beeping? Okay. That's very nice with the gold and these little, so I'll just put like a whole bunch on here, sew them, you know. That's cool. Okay, so we've changed the idea from harness to a design that could in theory be worn, okay, as a top or a scarf or something. Okay, for example. And then you're just creating something. Yeah, I like that. I sort of do like that. Okay. So I think for the next one, I think I'll finish sewing this later, add these pieces, and yeah. I could, sorry, I'm gonna put that there. So I could definitely, I mean, I wish I was a little bit thinner like I used to be, but you could definitely, this could be like a, and you can put straps on the sides as well. So there could be things. This could be like a summer type of top. So yeah, this is cool. There's like shape. You can create a shape here. Quite nice. There's already a bit of shape. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna do it this way. I don't want to cut this. I think it's too nice to be cut, and then I would waste more material. So we're gonna create a top. And there you go. Okay, folks, that's just an introduction to crafty stuff today. Just an introduction to crafty stuff. I'm gonna go. It's been an hour or so, and my phone keeps buzzing. So instead of music today, we've just done some craft. Thank you for joining me. Sorry I'm looking like a bit of a mess. It is a Saturday. Arigatou gozaimashita, and then matashita sayonara, and jai bye-bye. And this space is usually music, but today it was craft, because now I feel confident that this could be made into a piece. Okay. Thank you again, guys, for joining me. Bye. Oh, sorry. Tap chat. How am I? So I was just making, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. So I'm busy making, can you say, yeah, La Surura Koloi. La Surura Koloi. I don't think the pronunciation I got. I'm sorry, I just saw these. These obviously are newer, because when I looked the first time I didn't see those names. My apologies. I'm making a top. I was starting off with a pet harness, and then I just made a top out of leather, if you're back to see this again once it's finished. So I'm just making a top. I'm making like a top dress, whatever, and then I'm making these pieces, and I'm going to sew these on. These are like small little I think gold and red look quite nice. So you can see that the gold and red. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Sorry, I just saw those. My apologies for not seeing those. My eyesight didn't see those before. Suria. Suria. I hope that's right. Okay. And I'm going to head on out. If you come back, you'll be able to see what it is. Thank you again for popping over. And yeah, we just did a craft day. I'm sewing. I never show people my sewing department, but there you go. Thank you again for joining me.